We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with SBG podcast number 19. Very excited for this one. Got my MMA coach and friend right here, Justin Lionheart Mead. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you for having me, buddy.
Man, I've been looking forward to hearing your story, so this will be a fun one. So let's take it all the way back to where you're from. Where'd you grow up, man?
I grew up in Ragley, which is just north of Lake Charles, between Lake Charles and DeRidder, Beauregard Parish, middle of nowhere.
Nice. So how did you get started, like, fighting? Did you start whenever you were younger, or?
So me and some friends just used to always backyard brawl for fun. Like, that was like, oh, it's the weekend, let's go, get messed up and beat the shit out of each other, like, for fun. And we wouldn't hit in the face. We would do body shots, but like we would be like trying to like break ribs. And,
God damn.
And we didn't know how to fight. We thought we knew how to fight, but I choked a lot of people out back then before I knew what I was doing. So
that's whenever you started knowing that, like, grappling was your strong suit.
Yeah, like I was like, well, I'm not very good. I'm just tough, and but if I can grab a hold of you, then I can usually tie you up.
That's pretty great. And so how old were you whenever that was going down?
Oh man, middle school through high school, stuff like that. From like 12, 13 on up to 18.
That's awesome. So no formal training up until like 18 or so.
I was 22. I just turned 22 whenever I started training in May of 2010.
Nice. And so where did you start training at?
So a gym in Leesville. It was LA MMA. My friend Chris Champagne, he's from California. He was a pro fighter in California, came out here because his parents lived out here in DeRidder. And so he opened a gym right there near Fort Polk, the Army base. And literally I was working at the Ford dealership right there, and it had been on my mind because like I'd been playing just UFC video games and stuff, and I was like, I always wanted to do jiu-jitsu. I always enjoyed watching like old UFC videos and Hoist Gracie,
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I feel like I can do this. I feel like I could be decent at it. I've always been scrappy. I've always had the mindset that like, if you're gonna beat me, you're gonna have to beat me. I'm not gonna quit out there. And so I was about to switch jobs and move towards the Lake Charles area because they had Lake area Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that's one of the bigger ones at the time. So I was like, I can probably go there, start doing Jiu-Jitsu. And I happened to like see a flyer in the window at Burger King on my lunch break. I was like, oh shit, let me check this place out, because it was right down the road from work. So I went and I checked it out. And me and the dude Chris hit it off real well, and from there, like, I would leave work at 4:00, train 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, and rinse and repeat. And got to the point where I would go, and instead of driving all the way back to Ragley where I lived, which was about an hour drive, I would just go about 20 minutes back to DeRidder to his place and stay with him. And so then we would train at the gym, then come back and like roll in his living room or on his back porch where he had mats. So I was training minimum 3 hours a day, sometimes 5 hours a day, for like the first 6 months of training.
Man.
Yeah. And then being right there by Fort Polk, we had guys that were Army boxers, some guys that were like D1 college wrestlers that joined the military. So like we had a mosh posh of guys with fight talent, or fight experience. And so I got the shit kicked out of me so much. But I think that back then, like the training's evolved a lot in the last 15 years, because in 2010, like, training was just, all right, glove up. Are you want to fight? We're gonna do basically like what we have smokers nowadays. That was just like every sparring day. You know,
That was just like the baseline sparring.
Yeah, that was sparring. Like, all right,
God damn.
bite down on your mouthpiece and fight.
Oh.
You know, it weeded out the people that didn't want to be there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Man, it's like trial by fire.
That's 100%. That's but I feel like my learning curve was exponentially increased by learning that way. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Because then it's like survival. So if you don't learn, then you're gonna get the shit beat out of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, that's crazy. Were people getting injured more because of that style of sparring, or was it not too bad like that?
Honestly, I mean, we had a few injuries, but not that much. No, I mean, like, are they going to be okay later in life? I don't know. You know, like, people were taking some serious shots to the head. You know, I remember getting hit by, and we were sparring. We only had so many people, and there wasn't a lot of guys that were like in the 135 range. And so I was sparring with guys that were fighting 170, 185, you know, just whoever I could spar with. And, yeah, they were cracking.
Damn. Yeah, that's some cannonballs coming at you for sure. So what belt did you attain there?
So, funny story. Like, everything that Chris taught, like, he's really good at jiu-jitsu and probably has some of the best leg locks in the state, but he may have his purple belt now, but like, he was probably brown to black belt level grappling then, but was also really just a catch wrestler. So like, he never had it like a belt for years. Like, I think a couple years ago somebody finally gave him his brown belt.
Oh, wow.
And, because they were like, yeah, you're going into these tournaments and submitting people, you know, and like, people like are doubting your credentials. But he never cared about belts, and so I didn't get. I was a white belt, and we didn't do any gi there. Like, we would do gi at like some tournaments and stuff, but I mean, it was more MMA based. You know, it was all no-gi grappling, submission, catch wrestling, and beating the shit out of each other.
Nice. So did you start doing any kind of like actual cage fighting or amateur fighting while you were there?
Yes. Yeah. So I started training May of 2010. I had my first amateur fight. I did a smoker in this little gap too, but or a couple smokers. But I had my first official amateur fight at Mudfest in Colfax in August of 2010.
Damn.
Outside in 100-degree weather, muggy and mosquitoes.
I was about to say, with the mosquitoes tearing y'all apart.
Yeah, a bunch of drunk rednecks, you know, there for Mudfest, you know, but it was a fun experience. And it actually, like, I got the shit beat out of me in that fight. But it actually played to our favor in that the gym we trained at, we didn't have air conditioning, you know, so, like, we were accustomed to training in the heat anyways. It was just another day at the gym.
Yeah.
But they had offered me, they were like, you can fight this guy that's 0-0, or you can fight this guy that's 2-0. And I was like, give me that 2-0 guy. I'm going to bust his ass.
Yeah.
And, man, he beat the shit out of me. Like, I mean, he dropped me with a knee to the mouth. Well, he triangled me. And I defended that and got up and was like, yeah, is that all you got? And he, like, clinched me and kneed me in the mouth and dropped me. And, like, it stunned me, but I came right back up. And I didn't see him. And I was like, where the fuck did this guy go? And I didn't see him because he had already went to my back and commenced to rear naked choking me. And so he choked me for the better part of the whole first round, to the point that the ref was like, you know, this happened. I'm like,
I got 1% airflow still.
yeah. No, like, it was bad because, like, whenever, I mean, you've been choked a few times. You know, like, how you start to feel that, like, ooh, and things start closing in.
Mm-hmm.
So when he had me in the triangle, I was like, all right, I'm okay. And then, like, I was like, oh, man, I can't see anything. And I was like, but I can still hear the crowd, so I'm probably okay. And then I was like, oh, man, I can't hear anything. Like, I'm about to go out. And I was like, okay, well, I got to make a choice here. And so, like, I knew, like, if I stood up, he was going to try to switch to the arm bar. Because, I mean, off the triangle, you can hook the leg, turn the angle, get the arm bar. So I was like, all right, I'm going to stand up, and he's going to go for the arm bar. And I stood up, and as soon as he let go, like, I dove past him, like, and, like, rolled and got up and was like, yeah, you didn't
Safe.
have me. And that's when he kneed me in the mouth and got on my back and started choking me again. And
Damn.
that was pretty much the whole first round. And second round came out. We scrambled a little bit. I wish I could find that video because it was
a war.
No, I mean, it was a war for him. Like, I mean, it was just a mauling on my end, but it definitely showed durability. You know, like I earned my moniker on that one, and I've never had a fight that I felt was, nobody's ever put it on me like that since then. You know, but it was a learning experience, and he ended up getting my back again in the second round, choking me for probably half the second round and couldn't finish the choke. He got to mount and just started punching, and like I couldn't escape. Like a lot of the shots weren't really landing, but the ref ended up stopping it towards the end of the second round. And could I have went further? Yeah, probably. Was it a good stoppage? Yeah, probably. He was mauling me the whole fight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good learning experience, you know, because I was like, all right, like this is what it takes, you know. I've got to be ready to be like this every time. And yeah, it. I had some tough first fights. Like I went 0-3 as an amateur out the gate. Lost to Devin Cannon. Then I fought Landon Ackle, who was a boxer that had a lot of boxing experience. Was winning that fight and gassed out, going for a choke. He got on top and started punching down, and the ref ended up stopping it. That one I feel like was a bad stoppage because like I rolled over. I was like, he had mount, and I was like, I couldn't get him off of me, but I was like, he's not gonna choke me. He doesn't have any grappling, so like I'm just gonna roll over and stand up. So like I rolled over and put my hands down to stand up, and the ref stopped it. And so that one was disappointing. And then I fought Clay Burns, who's a very seasoned, very good boxer, very skilled, and we had a 3-round war where we beat the shit out of each other, and I lost that decision. And man, I was like, fuck, 3-0. Like, I mean, I'm 0-3. Like, do I suck? Like what's going on? Like, should I even be doing this? Am I wasting my time? And so
start getting in your own head like that.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna give this one last time, and if I lose this one, if I go 0-4, I'm gonna hang it up. And I fought a guy named Isaiah Lewis, and he was a real skilled kickboxer, solid grappler, you know, just all around decent fighter. And man, he came out the gate, picked me up, slammed me on my head, jumped up, landed big shots from the top. Like as soon as he hopped up, boom, boom, like rained some big shots down, and I managed to recover. But I was like, oh shit, well here we go. And man, I got him off of me. Like I went for a choke, knew that I didn't have it, didn't want to like gas out like I had previously, so like I just used it to get up. And man, I got up and we clinched, and I hit him with a knee, and it was one of the best knees I've ever hit anybody with. Like in the video, whenever I got pulling down and I hit it, like you see his head pop up like a Rock'em Sock'em robot, like boom, straight up.
Damn.
And he steps back, and whenever he stepped back, man, I just started coming after him, you know, like pop, 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 like landed like a couple of big shots, hit him with the two that like made him like crumple down and put his hands on the mat. And man, whenever he did that, I locked up an anaconda choke and finished him. And it was a busy first round, but I got my first round submission. And I was like, okay, like maybe I'm not terrible. Maybe like I've fought tough guys. Maybe, you know, like maybe I haven't been being guided in the right direction. You know, like I think that as a fighter, you shouldn't be allowed to pick your fights, or you shouldn't be allowed to say yes or no to your fights. Like I think that like you should have a coach that is like, no, like I don't like that fight for you. This is the guy we're gonna go with. Because as a fighter, like you have to have the mindset, like, yeah, I can take that guy. Fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is like, can you take him? Yeah, like maybe. But I mean, like, does the fight make sense? Did it make sense for me as a debuter to fight a guy that was 2-0? No.
Yeah.
Like, ego plays a big factor, and so like your ego can affect your record if you let it. And so man, I went after that, I went 3-0 my next 3 fights, all first round finishes, including a 37-second armbar, which is pretty cool.
Damn, that was pretty great.
Yeah.
Were they all by submission?
Yeah, 3 first round submissions. Yeah.
What were the submissions? Do you remember?
So I got the anaconda choke on Isaiah Lewis. Then I fought a guy on 2 weeks' notice. I think 2 weeks after that.
Damn.
Against a guy named AJ Rosales. And so they called me about a fight in Baton Rouge, in Gonzales, really. And they were like, do you want to fight? And I was like, I don't know, you know. And they were like, well, look, you know, can't really pay amateurs, but we'll pay your travel, you know. And so, like, I was like, all right, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out and I fought this guy, and I wasn't supposed to beat this guy. Like, they were trying to feed me to him. And, man, as soon as we touched gloves, he, like, punt kicked me in the face, you know, like it was dirty.
Like right after?
Yeah, like as the hands touched, the foot was coming up, and bam, kicked the shit out of me. And I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, man.
And, he shot in, took me down, and, like, as soon as he took me down, like, he started trying to throw wild ground and pound. I started, like, switching my hips, throwing for, like, triangles and arm bars, and, boom, just caught it 30 seconds in, and got the tap. You know, and so that was pretty exciting.
I bet that felt good knowing that you were supposed to be just like cannon fodder for this dude, and then you fucking showed him up.
Oh yeah, yeah. The crowd was not happy, but I mean, I've had that happen a few times. So like, as the story progresses, we'll hear more on those kind of situations, because like I don't know that I've ever. I mean, the last couple of years and like building up my repertoire and or reputation in Lafayette, I feel like I have a lot of people here in the local area. One, and really now across the state, 'cause I've been doing it so long. But like, I feel like my name's earned some respect. But early on, like they were like, "Oh yeah, he's just, you know, scrappy. You know, like we'll feed him to somebody, and like he'll just be, you know, a journeyman for him." And I've had a few good upsets.
That's pretty great.
And so then I fought Devin Jones, and me and Devin Jones ended up having a pretty good little rivalry. We fought twice as an amateur and once as a pro. But so I had those 2 first round finishes. Then I fought Devin Jones a little bit after that, and I landed a big overhand that like crumpled him, and before he could react, I was on his back with a rear naked choke locked in, and finished him in the first round.
Damn.
And so that was cool. And so then he was from Global Fighting, which is a gym in or Global Fitness Center, which is a gym in Alexandria. And back then, that was one of the bigger shows, was GFA, Global Fighting Alliance. Like, they did their own promotion and stuff, and a lot of their guys were on it, and they were usually pretty fair about matching people up. There was a few that were questionable, but all in all, it was usually pretty fair matchups. And after I beat Devin Jones, they had a guy that they put me against that he normally fought at 145, and so he cut down to 35, and he was big. And we had a 3-round war, and he was known for, like, cracking people, and he did not want to stand with me. Like, I hit him with everything but the kitchen sink, knocked his mouthpiece out of his mouth one time, and like after that, like, he just grabbed me and held me down and was just big and strong, and I couldn't get him off of me, and so I lost the decision and ended that little streak that I had going on. So that was disappointing. But then again, went on to 3 more wins in a row. I think, let's see. Yeah, so after that, I took some time off. Moved, like, I was still living in Ragley and stuff for all this, and I was tired of being a mechanic, tired of working at the dealership. It was like, I need to do something more with my life. Had some relationship issues, kind of was dealing with depression, all that, and so decided I just got to do better for my life. And so enrolled in T.H. Harris in Opelousas, moved out to Sunset.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Damn.
My cousin had a little apartment there. Me and him shared the apartment. And worked at AutoZone, put myself through T.H. Harris. And towards the end of that, I'd been training, just in like a little garage gym. And I was like, man, I want to fight. I hadn't fought in a long time. It'd been like over a year. And so, like, I took a fight at a little place in Denham Springs. And this was a bad matchup. It wasn't really fair to this guy, but they put me, like, I told him, I was like, look, I've been out a little while. Like, I'd like a warm-up fight before I fight a killer. And they gave me a debuter, which wasn't fair to that guy, because, like, by this time I'd been training 3 years, two or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And was a blue belt, but, like, really, like, I'd already won a bunch of jiu-jitsu tournaments, had got to where I was competing in the purple, brown, black belt divisions of, like, the no-gi and stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, because, I mean, I had already won at each level, so I was like, well, like, I'm just going to go to the expert division. And
were you actually, like, winning against some brown belts and stuff?
So I won against a bunch of purple belts and stuff, and, like, in the gyms, I would win against some brown and black belts. But at, like, the big tournaments and stuff, once I went to the expert division, like, I would usually get, like, second or third in a decent little division.
Pretty
so
great.
it wasn't, like, again, my ego was like, I could stay here in these others and keep winning medals, but, like, I want to keep pushing higher. And so, like, once I had won gold in this division, I was like, all right, now I'm not going to stay in beginner, and now I'm not going to stay in advanced. Now I'm going to expert,
Yeah.
And so, like I said, it wasn't really fair to that guy because he was a debuter, and man, right out the gate, I cracked him, hit him with some skip knees to the face, busted his chin up. He took me down, and I armbarred him and maybe a minute.
Damn. I'm just imagining this dude rolling up with just a shining, his face, all happy to just partake in this first match against this dude that's been at it for a while. Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah.
So it wasn't fair. But, I mean, I didn't pick the fight. I didn't know nothing about him, so I was like, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, backstage, he was hitting pads. He was fucking cracking the pads. I was like, God damn. It's his debut.
It was making you nervous a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, I better go out there and get this guy because like I can't be letting him like put those on me.
Yeah.
And so I did. And so I won that fight. And then fought Trent Moe, who was a big name local here at the time. I think he was on like a 7-fight win streak. They called me. They were like, "Hey, do you want to fight Trent Moe at USA MMA?" Actually, I was supposed to fight Devin Jones again on a different show, and he ended up getting hurt and pulling out, and so that got scrapped. And this other promotion reached out and was like, "Hey, I know that you were getting ready for a fight. You want to take this fight?" And so like they were like a week apart, so everything's still lined up. And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll fight him." And so like I watched some videos on him. I'm like, "Yeah, man, he got some good kickboxing, good Muay Thai." I was like, but he probably can't grapple with me. And I was not supposed to win that fight. And it was for a belt. And they were like, it's for the USA MMA Amateur 135 belt.
Damn.
And I was like, hell yeah. Sweet. I'll take a title shot. Why not? And
was that your first title shot?
First title shot.
I bet that was tight, like knowing that.
Yeah, it was a big excitement, and as a matter of fact, so it was one of Aaron Phillips' last local fights. He fought a guy named I think DJ Fuentes. He was the main event, and Matt Schnell was supposed to fight that night because this was before either of them had made it to like the bigger levels and stuff. This was December of 2013.
Wow.
USA MMA, the fight before Christmas. And, yeah, me and Trent Moe get out there. And we're fighting, good back and forth. And he kicks the shit out of my leg. Like, probably one of the hardest that I've ever been kicked. I was like, oh my God.
Was it a calf kick or like thigh?
It was a thigh. And, like, I was like, do not let him kick you like that again. And like he kicked me again, and I was like, "We're not doing this." And like I shot a ugly shot, and like he sprawled. I pulled guard, and we were by the cage, and he started trying to posture up, and I armbarred the shit out of him. Like he never saw it coming. And I think that fight right there was when the people of the Lafayette area were like, okay, like maybe he can grapple, maybe he is decent.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm not from the Lafayette area, but I've been here since 2012. Gotcha. So like I just kind of came onto the scene here. Hadn't really earned anybody's respect, here, and was 50-50 as an amateur.
Did you have your nickname yet at that point?
Yeah.
Did. How did you earn that? Like, oh, I mean, not how, but like, who gave you that name?
I think it was Chris, the guy that I started with, because like I think originally, like they had wanted to call him. People had floated like Mighty Mouse around, and had floated Spider, because like I would climb all over people. And neither of those really stuck. I didn't really like them. I think I used the Spider for like my first fight, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know, I don't like it. And I'm pretty sure he was like, dude, like you just don't quit in there. Like you got like the heart of the lion. He's like, yeah, that's it, Lionheart. And I was like, all right, I can do that. I can deal with that, because and Richard the Lionheart like was always one of my favorite historical figures, from like the Crusades and stuff, the King of England. So like I was like, yeah, like that.
It resonates.
Yeah, it resonates. I did a history paper on him in high school and stuff, and so I was like, I can
That's
do that.
tight.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, it's always interesting to me how people get their nicknames like that. It's like you get crowned with something that you're going to be known for, you know. People, you know, you see people out in the world and they know you as that, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. So, I didn't mean to
Oh, no, you're good.
derail.
So I fought Trent Moe, beat him, and it was such bullshit because I'm in there. I'm like, yeah, where's my belt? Where's my belt? And they come up and they hand me a plaque. And he's like, yeah, the belt didn't come in. And I don't know for sure, but like, if I had to put money, they had a belt backstage with Trent Moe's name on it.
Oh, yeah.
Already made.
Mm-hmm.
And because, like I said, he was a local Lafayette guy, and like I ruined the party there, you know. But maybe they didn't. I don't know. But I got a plaque, and then a year later, he actually invited me back to the show, and did like a little like thing, brought me in the cage, and gave me a belt and all that. So like, he made it right, you know.
That's cool.
A year later, but. After I fought Trent, I fought Devin Jones again, you know, because that one was one that was like waiting, you know, there was some shit talking, you know.
Is that the one where the crowd got unruly at the end?
Yeah.
Look, before you get into this one, when I started at Acadiana Jiu-Jitsu, I was like, oh man, all of these coaches like actually get in the cage and bang it out and like do all the MMA shit. And I started like looking up like you and CJ's fights, and I saw the one that he's about to talk about. And I was up late, you know, one night just like going through all the videos, and I saw this fight, and you know, at the end, everybody's getting all crazy, and I see. It was just so entertaining to see the crowd getting pissed off at the decision, and then you like firing back at the crowd. I was just laughing my ass off at that exchange. So that is what y'all are about to hear right here.
So the cops actually had to stop people from going into the cage. Like,
oh, man,
like they were wanting to come after me, and so I fought Devin Jones that night, and this was the only time that I've ever cut to 125.
Jeez.
And
what were you before? Like,
so I walked around at about 145 back then. You know, like I probably walk around at, you know, about 160 whenever I'm in camp usually now. But like early on, I should have been a 125er. I was a 135er that just didn't cut weight because like I would just be at like 139 and then like trim down and show up. I've showed up to my early fights drinking like a milkshake from Burger King and went and took a shit to make weight. You know,
pretty great.
So I should have been a 25er early on, and so I cut 17 pounds of water between Thursday night and midday Friday, wearing like a sauna suit and riding the bike and sitting in my car with the heater on and like just blasting and dying. And that's the most water that I ever cut. And it's a funny story. Danica's gonna be so pissed. She's gonna be pissed when she sees this. But I love you. It's a great story. The first time, so she was there for the Trent Moe fight. That's the first time that she saw my fights. Well, then we were officially together, and 6 months later, you know, June, July-ish of 2014, I fought Devin Jones, and I'm cutting all this weight. And it's the first time she's ever been around me while I'm cutting weight. And it's the first time that I've ever really cut a substantial amount of weight, too, you know. And, man, I'm dying. Like, we get to Alexandria for the weigh-ins, and they're dicking around, and like I'm just like, I just need to get on the scale and weigh in and fucking drink something. Mm-hmm. And I'm spitting in a water bottle so that I don't swallow my own spit, to like lose every little bit that I can and stay down. And I was like, I'm so thirsty. And she was like, well, if you're thirsty, just have a sip of water. And I was like, what the fuck did you just say to me? You don't think that I would love to have water right now? I can't fucking have water right now. I can't deal with you saying shit like that right now. And like she was like, all right, asshole. And, like, so yeah, but it was funny. So I ended up getting in there, making weight. We come fight day. I'm still drained, but I was like, we're gonna fight, and so he beat my ass that first round. Like, landed big ground and pound, was beating me up on the feet. I hit him with an illegal up kick. I think that his knee was up, but it happened in transition. So if I hit him with an illegal up kick, it's all, my bad, Devin. That was 10 years ago. We're good now, bro. But ref stopped it, let him recover. And we went back at it, and he commenced to just beating the shit out of me the rest of the first round. And so second round comes out, and starting off, like gauging the distance, everything. And when I say he was beating my ass, like, he was landing big shots, but I was moving. I was never incapacitated. I was never close to being out. He was just landing big shots, and I was blocking a lot of them and moving. Well, the second round comes out. We're back and forth, and like he kind of rushes me, and like I stumble back and throw like a molly whopper from the neighbor's basement over there, and like just boom, just hit him. I think it was a left hook, like, cause like I was stumbling back and like I was like here, just wow, man, like just dropped him. And like in the video you can watch, like, he said it was a bad stoppage and they could have let it go on longer, but like I was on him, like it was about to get worse, because like when he dropped, he fell and like started trying to pick himself back up and fell again.
Yeah.
And like I was on him, about to start hitting him, and Rich Clemente was the referee for that one. And so I mean, Rich is a UFC fighter. If he said it was a good stoppage, it was a good stoppage.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. And so the crowd was pissed. And that was for the 125 belt. And so, yeah, I mean, it was, the crowd was talking shit, was yelling. They let me have the mic, and I started talking shit back to the crowd. Basically told them, like, love me or hate me. You can boo me or cheer me. I don't care. I got the belt. Like,
and look, during that exchange too, they put the main belt on you, and then they came and like put another belt on you too, and it was just so great because he was like shit talking the crowd while they're, the exchange was having their stacking belts on. I'm gonna have to find the video. And
the other belt that got put on me, the guy that I was the head MMA coach at a little gym called Austin's MMA. It's a little small, like, mainly karate gym and stuff, but I taught grappling and stuff there, and had a couple guys that I helped train for some fights. And Ricky Guidry, he has Rick's Rods in Lafayette. He did like a hot rod restoration and everything. He was the guy that I was helping with his gym, and that's where I trained, literally right next door to where I live right now. And whenever that other guy didn't give me a belt, he ordered a belt for me and like got it like made up with all the USA MMA logos and stuff like that, and like made it a legitimate 135 belt. And so that was the belt that he came and put on me with that. So now I had a belt at 135 that I'd won, and then a belt at 125 that I had won.
Man, that's badass.
Yeah. So it was a cool moment. So then that put me 3 in a row again. It's like, cool, yeah. And I just started working at Capital Ultrasonics in Baton Rouge. I had finished school at T.H. Harris. So I was like, all right, like, I love fighting, but I gotta, like, I just spent all this money to, like, put myself through school to start this career. So I gotta, like, at least, give this some time. And so took a little time off, worked on my career, and then now I was 6-4 as an amateur. Because I had lost 3, won 3, lost a decision, then won 3 in a row, took time off. So I'm 6-4 as an amateur. My little boy was born in April of 2016, and I started back training. I was training at Gracie United in Opelousas with Lang Williamson. Real good guy. Had some good friends and training partners there, and probably shouldn't have taken that fight, so soon, because my son was born in April. There was a card in June or July, and my wife begged me not to take it, and I was like, it's cool, I'm gonna take it. And so I was a little heavier because I got a little fat whenever she was pregnant. Like I was eating all of her leftovers because she would get sick after eating and stuff, and so like I was just the human garbage disposal. And so like I was like, we're gonna do this one at 145, and man, I'm disappointed on this one because like if I would have won this fight, and I can show you the fight, I won that fucking fight, but judges gave it to the other guy, and it would have been 3 different belts in 3 different weight classes as an amateur, which would have been a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
But fought that fight, lost the decision against Hayden Parsons. He would take me down, and then like get up, and then take me down and get up, and he would not stay. Like I almost submitted him a bunch of times. I know that like his arm was probably hurting after that. I thought it was going to be a 5-round fight for a title. At the end of the 3rd round, like he was pretty worn out. If it would have went 2 more rounds, I definitely think I would have finished him. But ended up losing that decision.
Was it because he kept getting up and then taking down, that stacked up the points for those?
It showed him in control, and I mean like my striking was really sloppy back then. Like I mean, I hit people hard, but like it was very wild, unorthodox, and I kind of have a style. I mean, you sparred me a few times, but like if you watch some of my fights, it's kind of like almost like a drunken boxing. Like I get hit and kind of stumble, and then like crack them back, and like move weird and unorthodox, and so it gives a bad look to the judges. It makes it look like I'm worse off than I am sometimes, because like I mean, they see you stumble, they see you like kind of fall back, hit the cage, it looks like you're hurt.
They don't know that's part of the strategy.
Yeah, they don't know. Like my brain don't care about me. It's fine. Like I'm fine. Like but yeah, so yeah, I lost that. So now I was 6-5 as an amateur. I ended up that's whenever after that I ended up switching over to Gladiators with Tim and them, and so I was with Tim. I got with Tim in the end of 2016. After that fight, was there for about a year. Then was there for about 2 years, and then got my purple belt from him. Like so, ended up my next fight was against Brandon Jimenez at Cage Warrior Championship CWC out of like the Homa area with Justin Verdun. He's like, hey, do you want to fight this guy for my 135 belt? And I was like, man, I was really thinking about going pro, but fuck it, like I'll fight this guy. And so I fought this guy, and it was a good fight for me. Like I cracked him on the feet. He landed a couple good shots. I got a little wild, a little carried away. But I ended up submitting him with a head and arm choke in the first round. And so I still had 3 different belts in 2 different weight classes as an amateur. So
Yeah, that's sick.
it was pretty cool. And I was like, that's it, I'm going pro. Like I've got 12 amateur fights. it's 2018 now. You know, like I mean, like I've been doing this since 2010. You know, I've taken time off for my family, for my career, things like that. Like if I'm gonna go pro, I gotta go pro now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I won that fight. Got my purple belt from Tim. Not long after that, like I think November, because that was like October, and then November I got my purple belt, and then January comes along, and I'm making my pro debut, and they give me Devin Jones for my pro debut.
Can't get away from this man.
And I was like, man, it doesn't make sense, you know, like I've already beat him twice, like fighting him a third time doesn't really make sense, but I know I can beat him. And first round, like we're back and forth. I landed a good body kick, and I kind of rushed in at him, and he hit me with a shot that like crumpled me. And he started landing a little bit of ground and pound, but like I've been through worse. And I started going for his legs, looking to like try to sweep him. And the ref ran up and stopped it, dude. And I was so disappointed because, like, I was okay. Like, I mean, like, yeah, he cracked me and he dropped me. But, like, I was like, dude, like, I've had the shit beat out of me so many times as an amateur. And on my pro debut, you're going to fuck me like this?
Yeah.
You know, like, let me fight. Let me fight for it, you know? Like, let me go out if that's the case.
Man.
So... it was a bad stoppage. I'll die on that hill that was a bad stoppage because I've been in way, way worse situations. Not saying he didn't crack me, and you know, like he capitalized. I just think that the ref made a bad decision.
Yeah, that's ironic that it got like spicier in amateur matches, and then you're in pro, and then it's crazy.
Well, and I think that ref, I'm not going to name drop anybody, but I think that was one of his first times reffing. Like, he hadn't been a ref very long. And so I don't think that he had the experience to distinguish between amateur and pro, like where to like let it go. And so, yeah, I mean, like I was salty about that for a long time. I don't care anymore. You know, that doesn't, I mean, this was 6 years ago, like almost 7 years ago. I'm past it, you know, like but and I'm pretty sure that I went into that fight with a concussion because like when we were grappling a week or two before that, we were all on the mats and like somebody got a takedown while I was on the ground and like ended up being like heads clashing together. So like I was probably concussed, and that probably affected like how bad, you know, like that shot affected me. But I mean, shit happens. It's contact sport. So then I fought Malcolm Williams. They called me. Tim called me on a Wednesday. I was at work, and he was like, "Hey, they just had a guy pull out on a CWC card. You want to fight Malcolm Williams at 135? And I was like, when? He was like, Saturday. I was like, fuck. All right. Yeah, we'll do it. And man, we showed up out there.
Were you already fighting weight anyway, and you didn't?
Yeah, so I made weight at I'd fought in January, and then this was a month later in February, I think. And so like I didn't really put a lot back on, and I wasn't. We were doing keto back then, so like I stayed real lean. Like I was walking around at like 5% body fat all the time.
Damn.
Like all the time. Like so like I probably walked at 146. You know. So like it was like, okay, yeah, I just gotta cut 9 pounds of water, like that, or I gotta diet a little bit for these next 2 days, not eat much, and then cut the water. And so it wasn't bad. It sucked, you know, because not being prepared to make the weight cut, but I made the weight. And dude, that was a fight. Like, I don't know if you've watched that one, but like,
I don't know if I have.
black guy had like the braids and stuff, and like was throwing like jumping spin kicks and shit, dude. Like,
Did he catch you with a few of those?
none of the kicks landed, but like he caught me with some shots, some good punches. I grappled him, and like it's the only decision win that I've ever got. Like, out of all my fights, I've only won one decision. You know, because I've never been like, winning a decision was never my goal. Like, I'm going out there to try to finish you. And so, I took him down, beat him up a little bit on the ground, had some spots where I should have finished him, and I missed opportunities. On the feet, he was cracking me. I cracked him with a few good shots, but he was definitely getting the better of the exchanges on the feet. And so I did what I had to do, and I took him down, looked for submissions, looked for elbows, and should have finished him. Didn't finish him, won the decision. And yeah, that, so my shit was fucked up. Because like, we went to Waffle House that night, and like, I can probably pull up the picture for you. Did I ever show you the picture when my eyes swole shut?
I don't think so.
No? Let me see if I can find it.
I'll have to get it from you so I can post it right here too. Just trying to enjoy your meal at freaking Waffle House and your whole body is wrecked.
Dude, it was bad. It was so I'm at Waffle House. I go to blow my nose. Like, I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. I can't breathe. So I go to the bathroom. Like, feel all this congestion, and it's like, and like felt the blood go, and like my eye went from like being kind of like swollen to like swole shut. Couldn't see out of it.
What the hell? It like forced it from the sinuses into like around your eye.
That's exactly what it did. It blew it out of my sinuses and into behind my eye.
I bet that was highly spooky, seeing that happen on your face.
It was a very weird feeling.
Am I in danger?
I can't find the picture before, but I'll show you the picture after.
I'm sure people in the Waffle House were also like side-eyeing you. It's like, why does this dude look so jacked up right here?
Yeah. I'm sure.
Just had a few drinks at Cowboys. Typical exchange over there.
So you can see, like, I'm a little swole up right there. That hair. Yeah. Oh, dude. The hair was epic. And so, like, then I go to the bathroom and blow my nose at Waffle House.
Damn. Yep. Can confirm. It looks pretty jacked up.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And so then, let's see. So now I'm 1-1 as a pro, you know, and I ended up losing my job not long after that. I lost my job in like May, because that was February. Lost my job. Went to found a different company. Ended up working with them for a little while. Then ended up going to the Virgin Islands at the end of 2019 for work. And trained with some really cool people out there. That was cool. Sucked being away from my family, but you know, it was a cool experience.
How long were you out there for?
3 months.
Damn, yeah, that was a long time.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be 6 weeks. Ended up being 12. And I told them, I was like, I left September, and I was like, guys, like, I'm gonna be home for Christmas no matter what, and I'm not coming back. And so that ended up working out. Came home, and I'm pretty sure, because so this is the end of 2019. Like, they were just starting to hear like whispers of COVID and everything like that. And man, I got back, came in from from St. Croix to Miami to New Orleans. My wife and my little boy and my friend Michael came and picked me up. And dude, like, I don't know if it was there in the airport or in the airplane or what, but like, all of January and February, like we were so sick, like, and like all the doctors would say it was like some kind of upper respiratory virus.
Wow.
And so like we probably had like the first strain of COVID.
Man, that's crazy.
And you know, before they were even able to like test for it, you know, and it was rough. Like, I mean, I ended up doing a jiu-jitsu tournament, and guy put me in a scarf hold, and like I could literally hear like the fluid in my chest like gurgling.
You got like your airways cut down in capacity like 50% right there.
Yeah, it was bad, but it ended up going away, and so, man, I think, let's see, when was it? I didn't fight again for a little while. I think it was 21. So I didn't fight from 19 to 21, I think. Let me check that. Make sure I'm not. I've been hitting the head a lot, you know. I gotta think about these things.
I bet it was, in general, it was like a lot more scrutiny to get a fight, and you'd have to do a whole lot more bullshit just for the COVID restrictions during that time too.
So and that was another part of it too, is like with COVID and everything, there were so many different, like, they had to do like COVID swabs, and had to be within so long, and so like I didn't fight during any of the COVID stuff. So I fought Malcolm Williams February 2nd of 2019, and then got back to training. You know, once I got back from the Virgin Islands, you know, I didn't fight again until September 11th of 21. So that was like a 2.5 year layoff.
But you had been training during that time.
Yeah, I had been training, you know, just with COVID and everything else, you know, and like just life. Trying, like, because in my career it was a weird place and time at that time, you know, with COVID, because they had so many restrictions for work. You know, they laid a bunch of people off, and so fighting wasn't high on my priority list then, you know. And so I come back, I get back to training, and probably put in a good 6-month camp in 21, where I'm like, I'm gonna get back into it. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna kill the next person that I fight. And I ended up fighting this young kid in Lake Charles, Anthony Salazar, and he was a game fighter. Like, he was a good grappler, but I came out, like, before that, probably, man, I don't know, must have been a couple weeks before that. I was training at Gladiators. Tim gave us this speech, and he was like, guys, you know, like, yes, like, what we're doing is stressful, and like, it's hard, but he's like, you need to take and appreciate these moments, because you're only going to be able to do these things for so long, and you're going to look back and wish that you had enjoyed it more than, like, just made it such a task. And so, like, backstage, I was like, man, fucking Tim was right. Like, I gotta get out of my head. I gotta just go out there and I gotta have fun. I gotta smile. I gotta embrace this moment, because, like, who knows how many I got left. And man, I came out there and I beat the shit out of that poor kid, because he was 19. And I put it on him. I mean, he had a couple of moments in the fight, you know, where he put me in some trouble. Nothing really crazy, but for the most part, like, I took his soul, you know.
Damn.
I kicked him with a body kick that, like, I heard him go, oh, and I was like, oh, you're dead. I'm gonna kill you.
Man, so 19, and now he was a pro.
Yeah,
at that age.
He had already had like 3 fights, like, which again, he did not have good management. because I think that his people just let him fight whoever the promoters were going to put him with, and he had some bad matchups because like his record isn't good at all, but he's a talented kid. I think he just kind of got fed to some wolves.
And how old were you at that point?
So this was 21. This was September of 21. So I'd have been 33.
And that's starting to get up there as far as like fighters go.
Yeah. And that was part of like my mindset was like, man, like I gotta appreciate this shit, Like, and so ended up almost finishing him in the first round. Like when it hit the ground at the end of the first round, like I ended up like splitting him open with some elbows. And like we get up for the second round, and I look across and I can see like a trickle of blood like running down his head, and I was like, oh, I cut him. Oh, I'm gonna get him. And so man, I just went after him again, and he was a good wrestler. He took me down a few times, and I was able to get up, sweep him, things like that. Ended up catching a partial triangle on him, and man, I just started cooking him with elbows. And at one point, like his mouthpiece was like half hanging out his mouth, and like I was like, "You better put your fucking mouthpiece in." Boom.
You gave him at least a little grace period.
I gave him a heads up, like, "Hey, you better put it in."
That's very kind of you.
Yeah. And, man, I hit him with one good one. Like in the video, you can see it. Like I was like, I'm holding my leg and I like rear back. Boom! I hit him, and like one of my left leg was trapped. Like he was like kind of holding it so that I couldn't finish the triangle. And whenever I hit him with that elbow, he like tried to posture up and step out of it, and that gave me the space to like swing it around and locked it, and like ended up finishing him. And so that was excuse me.
It's all good. Yeah, it's pretty great. Freaking triangles. This man is very good at triangles. I have gotten my head squeezed a fair amount of times, so I can confirm that as well. Yep.
Yeah, I've got a few on-bar and triangle wins. Yep. Well, only one triangle win, but I'm pretty decent at them.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah, so now I'm 2-1 as a pro. Like, all right, cool. And then they gave me another guy. So this was, well, actually, I'm sorry. Let me not get carried away. I beat that guy, and then November comes around, and Tim and Josh gave me my brown belt. So I've been a brown belt since November of 21.
Nice.
So 4 years. And then, man, like, we were like, guys, let's just keep this train rolling, because I was training with a bunch of guys. We were at Gladiators Crowley. And so it was me, my buddy Michael Gray, and my buddy Vincent Longclose, Matthew Robertson. Matt was still real green at that time. This was 4 years ago. Now Matt's a straight killer. It's terrible that his knee got jacked up and he's in recovery right now, but he'll be back. But man, we were all just on some tears, and so me, Michael Gray, Vincent Longclose, and Matt Robertson, all of us like, yep, we're gonna just roll right into another camp. And so stayed in camp, was ready for Bayou fighting in Lafayette for January, and I ended up breaking dude's arm, or at least popping some ligaments or something in the first round, and that was actually 16 seconds.
Damn.
So that was my fastest win.
It's like immediate. You just immediately get into it. And then, did you feel or hear it pop?
Yeah. And what was bad was he didn't have a chance to tap because the way that we fell and the way that I locked it up, I had like trapped his other hand, so like there was no chance to tap. Like all he could do was yell. And but I ended up winning that. All four of us, we all won our fights that night. Michael got a TKO or a submission. Pretty sure Vincent won a decision, and I think Matt submitted his guy, and so like it was a 4-0 night for us. You know,
that's badass.
And yeah, then I got a call to fight on a bigger show, and it was a cool opportunity. And so April of 22, yeah, because that was January of 22. April of 22, I fought on XMMA, and I don't even know if there's still a card or not anymore, but like they had a lot of investors, and so they like brought in big names, you know, like from like the UFC, like they had John Dodson that fought on the same card as me, Francisco Rivero, a bunch of bigger names, and so that was in New Orleans, and so I was like, hell yeah, you know, I'll take the fight. And so they had me fighting Andrew Garrett or Andrew Garrett. I think it's Andrew Garrett, but it looks like Garrett. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a dog. He's actually ranked number 1 in Louisiana right now.
Jeez.
And man, like, I felt good, felt lean, was shredded for that fight. Came out and was nervous about the potential for him to knock me out because like he had knocked out Tyrek Malvo, who's a 145er, one of my training partners back in the day, Gladiators. And so I was like, but he's not gonna knock me out. But maybe he can knock me out. But I don't know.
Just that little bit in your mind, yeah.
And so like when the fight starts, you know, like we're feeling each other out, all that. Man, he hits me with a couple good shots, and I was like, all right, he's got some pepper on his stuff. And like he threw a kick and it went by my head, and I was like, okay, you know, like he's coming. And like he threw a kick towards the body, and I ended up catching it. And for whatever reason, like maybe it was fight or flight, but like I was like, I'm gonna jump this leg lock, and like it was clean. Like I jumped it like straight into a heel hook, like off the caught kick, and like had the heel, started making the turn, and he was able to like step over, spin out, and like turn into me. And dude, like he hit me harder than anybody's ever hit me before. Like when I say he's got bricks in his hands, like it was bad. And so
was he long limbs?
He's lanky, you know, but like very fit, you know, and he's a gangster. And man, he hit me with a couple of shots, and like I was covering up, and the ref gave me every chance, you know, because he landed a bunch of good shots, and I thought about just staying covered up, and I was like, no, I got to get up. And so like I put my hands down on the mat to come back up, and man, he like came underneath my arm with another one and hit me, and I dropped back down, and the ref stopped it, you know. And so like I was never out, but he was ringing my bell, and it was a good stoppage. And yeah, so that kind of hurt, you know, because like I'd went 3-0 on my last 3, you know, was feeling good. Like I'd lost my my pro debut, and then won the next 3, so now I was 3-1 as a pro. Then I lost this one, so now I'm 3-2 as a pro, and I'm like, shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so it was disappointing. Came back, fought a guy named Andy Sandoval, he's a game fighter, another one that didn't have a good record, but came to fight. He's been around for a while. And he punched the shit out of me right out the gate, and like I ended up probably 2 minutes in, arm barring him. He made me work for it, but I ended up getting it, you know. And
Nice.
so now I'm 4-2 as a pro at this point.
Are you starting to make more dough, like the more wins that you have and the more notoriety?
A little bit. You know, like I started out making 300 and 300. So that ex-MMA card, it was 1,200 to fight and 1,200 to win. So I lost, so I made 1,200, but it wasn't bad. And then I didn't make as much on some of the other local cards, but you know, 7, 8, you know, things like that.
Yeah. And were you getting like sponsorships? How's that?
So I've never really had sponsors. I did a little bit whenever I was with Ricky Guidry. He did some stuff and took care of a lot of stuff for me, but I was never good at finding sponsors. Maybe I just didn't put myself out there enough, whatever. Never really tried. You know, that's probably my own fault.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably like a almost a full-time job in itself of like trying to market yourself, and then also you're trying to fight and shit. So
well, I'm blessed that like my wife handles most of the stuff on the Lionheart page, and like she'll make posts, tag me in them, things like that. You know, she does pretty good with that.
Nice. PR person.
Yeah, and so I guess that was 23. That was Memorial Day weekend, or no? Going into so I'm 4-2 after fighting Sandoval, and then I fight DeAndre Anderson, who's probably like at the time I think it was 25, wrestler from Alabama. Dude was built like a brick shit house. He was strong.
Fucking corn-fed some bitch.
Dude. And he was short, like short, athletic black wrestler, like just built like a tank.
Damn.
You know, really good grappler, very explosive, and we beat the shit out of each other for 3 rounds, and ended up getting fight of the night. He won the decision, but and I feel like it was the correct decision. You know, it's not one that I felt like I got screwed on. I feel like there were things that I should have done better. Like, but I did get that. Did I ever show you that little switch kick that I did, and then I like punched the shit out of that guy?
I don't know if I've seen that one.
So that was probably my favorite highlight reel moment that I've ever done. The fight happened in that fight. And
really?
Like the crowd went nuts, and I was like, yes, that was sweet.
Do you have a video of that?
Yeah.
Man, if you send it to me, I'll put it up right here too.
All right. And so yeah, that's so now I'm 4-3 as a pro. I'm like, fuck, you know, like it's. I'd worked so hard to like stay away from being a 50-50 fighter, and I was like, man, I don't know if I even want to do it anymore. And so I was like, all right, well, let me get another one, because I always said I wanted 10 pro fights before I hung it up. I don't know why, it just seemed like the right number. And so I fought Robert Casper January of 24. And we had a good back and forth fight. He was definitely landing the better of the exchanges, but in the first round I had a few good moments where I cracked him. He dropped me at least 2 times in the first round though, like with some good shots. Or maybe he dropped me once and like cracked me with a couple that had me like stumbling, you know, pretty bad. He's a very dangerous guy whose record does not reflect. I think now he's 50-50. I think he's 9-9 now. But like he's on like a 5-fight win streak right now.
Damn.
And he in the second round, well, the first round, he had landed some good shots. I took him down, got to his back, couldn't quite finish the choke, and the round ended with me on his back. It's a good round, felt confident. Came out, second round, he cracked me with a couple good shots. I jumped guard because like I was like, man, I'm taking damage. I've got to figure something out. So I was like, let me just tie him up. So I tied him up. He ended up getting away. And as I was coming up, as soon as I got to my feet, he threw a overhand, and like it just caught like the edge of my nose, and like I just felt my nose just, and I was like, oh shit, my shit's broke. And like he rushed me, and like I just covered up and covered my face, and I just knew I was like I can't let him hit me in it again, you know. And they ended up stopping it, and yeah, and now 4-4.
Did you have to have surgery on your nose, or were you able to like salvage it and just put it like reset it?
They reset it backstage. I got a video of that too. I can send you that too.
Excellent.
You can hear Heath talking shit in it too. It fucking hurt. That hurt. It hurt worse him resetting it backstage than it did dude breaking it. I guess because of the adrenaline and everything.
Damn.
That sucked.
At least you didn't have to have surgery though, you know?
No, I didn't. The doctor, so I did go see an ENT after that. And he's like, oh, they did a good job setting it backstage. He's like, I can probably get it a little straighter if you want me to push on it. You know, he's like, it's up to you. And I was like, all right, dude, I'm here. Like, so fucking go ahead. Like, go ham. And, bro, he bared down on it and popped it one good time. And it probably straightened it out a little bit better. But, like, dude, it hurt so bad.
I'm
like,
sure.
Especially because, like, that was, like, Wednesday. So it had already been trying to, like, start healing and stuff.
Oh, man.
And, yeah. So, but he did say, he was like, yeah, you got like a deviated septum, like that can only be fixed with surgery. But as far as like the alignment of it, it's good.
Yeah, that's great that y'all were able to do that without having to get cut up in there.
Yeah. Yep. So that's all the fights that I've had. I've had some good ones, some tough ones. Been doing it a long time, man. I'm 37. I had 20 fights total, 12 amateur, 8 professional. You know, had a lot of fun. Met a lot of good people. You know.
Now you're about to hit your final one at the Cajun Dome Convention Center in about T-minus 1 month, just about, on December 5th.
Less than 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yesterday was 3 weeks. Yeah.
Man, that is sick.
Yep.
The hype is building for sure. It's cool to see, because you know, every time I come in now, it's more ramping up of the training, right? So it's cool to be able to see that happening in real time and know that you're getting ready for that. And a couple of weeks ago, whenever we were doing the Shark Tank on you, when Heath was directing that one, it was just it was cool to see how much you were able to put out during that, because like, just paint the picture for the audience. I think that was like the most people we had back there in a while, right? I mean, it was like 7 people back there. So there would be like 4 dudes gravel boxing on the side back there, and it wasn't cool back there. It was warm, right?
It was warm that day. Yeah.
So immediately, just standing in the room, you're sweating already. So you got 4 dudes gravel boxing on the side, and then 2 dudes are Shark Tanking him, and it's a 5-minute round.
Every 2.5 minutes, a fresh guy cycled in. Right.
And so I think it was like 45 minutes total that it was happening to you. And I'll say, like, we probably did like 3 rounds on the side, and I was like pretty burnt, and you were still going. And then I ended up doing my 2.5 minutes with you. And I just couldn't believe, like, the entire time you were just steady going at full pace. And it looked, I mean, you were obviously burnt at the end, but it looked like you could have kept going. I couldn't believe how much endurance that you had with that. So that was impressive for sure.
Thank you. You have to learn to embrace the suck. Like it's you got to train hard so that it's not going to be as bad in the fight, and it'll still be bad in the fight because no matter how much you prepare, the adrenaline is going to affect you differently. Anxiety, adrenaline, like all that. Like you're going to be like you may be able to do 10 rounds in the gym and feel great, even like trying to push the pace and stuff. But like that may equate to like 3 to 5 rounds in an actual fight where like your anxiety's up, your adrenaline's up, like because you're gonna be like, just swinging a little bit harder, reacting. You're gonna be more tense. Your muscles are gonna like get fatigued different, and you have to just prepare for the worst so that like you're in the best condition you can be in when you're in there.
Yeah, for sure. I can't even imagine. That's crazy. Do you try not to think about it being an upcoming thing so that your nerves don't like mess with you as it gets closer?
Man, it's weird, so like one thing that I've always done is like I'll start picturing the fight, and I'll be like, okay, and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, or this could happen, and like you'll feel your heart rate start like just like elevating, like because like you're seeing all the different possibilities that could happen. You're there, so like your anxiety starts going up, your heart rate starts going up, and you'll let yourself get worked up, or I'll let myself get worked up, and then I'll be like, all right, I'll bring the breathing back down. Gotta slow that heart rate, and so like it's kind of like pre-gaming for like what you'll feel in like the corner and stuff, like gotta be able to bring the heart rate back down, like yep, that was crazy, like shit was happening fast, boom 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 boom, all right, calm it down, breathe, like, and knowing how to like slow your heart rate back down and catch your breath and stuff like that, very very critical.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
But anybody that ever says that they're not nervous is a damn liar. Because like every fighter that I know like goes through it, and in the 20 fights that I've had, every time you're like backstage and you're like, oh shit, like what am I doing? Like why am I going out there and doing this shit? Like what if I go out there and he just gets me and I look stupid? Like
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear your music and it's time to go out there and the switch flips and it's like, all right, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna get him, and like this is what we came to do, and that part at least I'll say is, for me, like the moment that like I'm getting ready to walk out, like being backstage and the wait sucks, but the moment that you gotta walk out, boom, like turn it off, different person, like gotta go out there and do what I came to do.
Yeah, like you totally become that alter ego that is just an animal, and super interesting. I can't imagine the adrenaline rush as you're like walking out there and like seeing all these people and you're about to like bang it out and it's just you and this other dude. I mean, from the audience perspective, I've only ever been to like 2 of these now. One I think was like RFC 2, and it's crazy to be in person at those events because there's so many people in there, and whenever it's going down you could hear a pin drop, like everybody is holding their breath just watching and listening for every movement. Yeah, it's like that many eyes on you. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. people ask me, they're like, "Oh man, like it's a big rush." Like, yeah, like what do you think? Like, I wouldn't have done it 20 times if I didn't like it. You know, if I didn't love it. You know, it's there's nothing like it. You know, it's hard to explain. You know, but it's so much fun. It's it's something that you love and hate at the same time. You know, and it's so much work that goes into it. So much, like, fighting is easy. Like, going out there and fighting, that's easy. Making the weight, like, preparing for the fight, the hours in the gym, like, days, weeks, months, preparing, being selfish and taking time away from your family. That's where it's really hard. And, you know, it just, you know, that's another thing that Tim had said, was that, like, you know, the guys that are going to make it to the UFC are the ones that, like, are willing to be selfish, you know, and, like, this is the only thing that matters. I'm not that guy, you know, like, and whenever you told me that, I was like, yeah, you know, like, I get it, like, I'm older, like, I'm not, like, I got a family, I got my wife, my son, like, I'm gonna put in my time, you know, and I'll be ready. But, like, making it to that level, you know, like, it's just a level of selfishness, you know, like, I'm not going to spend 3 months in Florida to prepare for a fight, you know, like, I've got a job, let me correct that, I have a career, you know, like, I'm not fucking waiting tables somewhere and then training, you know, when I can, you know, all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, I've got a career and provide for my family, and I do, you know, what I have to do, you know, and I have no regrets about it, you know, like, my son is going to be infinitely better than I could have ever dreamed of, you know, I mean, he's 9, and he's been training for 5 years already. By the time he's 18, he'll have been training for 13 years, 14 years, you know.
Oh, man, it's like you distill all of your skill down and, like, start them early like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And he never has to fight if he doesn't want to, you know. Like, he'll always have to train, you know, because you gotta be prepared and know how to defend yourself, in my opinion. But he never has to fight. But he wants to fight, and he's put on his little goal list, you know, for school, like, become UFC champion. All right, dude, if that's what you want, like, you have all the opportunity. You have a better shot than I ever could have dreamed of, you know. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine, you know. But just, you know, work hard.
Mm-hmm. That will be super interesting in years to come if that actually does transpire, and then you can look back on this episode and be like, man, we were like fortune telling right there, you know, predicting the future.
Yep. Reese Mead, UFC champion. You heard it here first.
Oh, that's badass. Cool, man. I'm happy that you came out here and told your story. I'm looking forward to seeing you walking, doing everything, and we got a good crowd that's going to be come and watch. So very pumped about that. Is there any, like, final words you want to say?
Man, you know, I think Tim said it best. You know, for this kind of thing, you only get so long to do it. You gotta make the most of the time that you have, and you gotta enjoy it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna have fun this one last time, and I'm gonna put on a show, and it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be. I'm gonna go out there and do my best to give my best performance ever.
Hell yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck, man. Appreciate you coming out.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it, buddy.
Peace out.